Venturing Connection. Today I'm interviewing Russell Smart, and he is very involved, a volunteer for Boy Scouts of America, so I'm going to ask him a few questions about what he has done for National and talking about the upcoming Jamboree. So let's get started.
Okay.
So what have you done with STEM at the national level, and what is something interesting coming up this year?
Good, that's a great question. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, is a great field topic for our young people. And ExxonMobil, about 4 years ago, made a commitment of $3 million to Boy Scouts to fund the development of a new STEM initiative. And I was asked to serve as the chairman of that initial task force. And so we put together a wonderful program for both Cub Scouts, Webelos, Boy Scouts, and Venturers to have a recognition program for excellence in learning about various parts of STEM. We created 2 awards called the Nova and Supernova. And the Nova, we had 4 awards at first, and our Scouts have gone through those so quickly that they have hammered us, we need more. So we're going to roll out 8 more Nova Award topics this year and more to come in the coming years. And we're also at Philmont this year not only having a training course for adults in STEM, but we're also going to have a STEM trek. And a venturing crew from Knoxville, Tennessee is going to form the core of this venturing trek. So we're going to be out on the trails in Philmont for a week, not only enjoying Philmont, but doing STEM things at Philmont as well. So that's what's coming up in STEM this year.
Wow, that's great. It sounds like you're doing a lot with STEM.
It's a great program.
So getting into the Jamboree, which is coming up in just a few days, how did you become program director for the overall Jamboree?
I've been served in various capacities at past Jamborees, and in October of 2010, Jack First, who is the visionary behind the Summit Development Project, Jack and I had gotten to know each other very well in working together on other projects and Jamborees. And Jack asked me if I would be willing to be on the steering committee for the development of the first National Jamboree at the Summit for 2013. And there are 4 of us that make up that committee, and amongst the 4 of us, we decided who would take responsibility for the 4 major areas, and I had the opportunity to choose program, which is what I love the best. So it works very well, so that's how I got engaged in that position.
Also, since you're with the program, what is your favorite activity that's going to be offered at the Jamboree this year?
Now that's probably the toughest question you could possibly ask me. We have so many exciting and new activities there, and there's something for everybody. I love biking, so probably personally I would say that it would be the biking activities, specifically the mountain biking, downhill and cross country, but canopy tours, skateboard, BMX, shooting sports, aquatics, all those things are going to be great. And they're all going to be just world class.
That's great. So I've heard that you sing a lot at scouting events.
I do occasionally.
So I was wondering, what is your favorite song to sing to all the wonderful scouts at those events?
That's a great question. At Wood Badge training, of course, we sing the Wood Badge song, and I'm a beaver, which is the first critter in the progression of the 8 critters that make up Wood Badge. So I always get to start when we're singing the Wood Badge song because I used to be a beaver is the first verse, and I'm a beaver. So that's probably the one I've sung more. But I'm going to let you in on a secret. We're going to have a summit song that I have written, and it's called Summeritaville. And it's going to be based on the Margaritaville music, but we'll have different lyrics that are specific to the summit. So we're hopefully all going to learn a new song called Summeritaville at the Olympics. And we're going to preview and debut that as a karaoke at the staff show on Sunday night. So that's going to be exciting.
Wow, we got some secrets coming along.
Absolutely.
Also, another fun question. I hear that you have some interesting hats.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you have a special hat for Jamboree this year.
Now that's a secret I can't reveal. The answer is yes, I do. I have a new hat that I'll have there at the summit this summer. But a lot of my hats again focus on beavers. I have a good friend, Fred Hislop, who is also on our program team. And Fred has given me lots of beaver things. And my most favorite hat he gave me at the 2010, actually at the 2005 National Jamboree, he gave me a beaver bike cover bike helmet cover, and I have worn that at the Jamboree since, and that'll probably show up too. But I've got some other new hats that will show up this summer.
Kind of moving away from Jamboree, I was wondering, you staffed at Philmont before?
Yes.
And I was wondering where specifically you have worked at Philmont.
I've taught at the Philmont Training Center a couple of different courses and worked in different seminars and courses there. But actually 5 years ago, right now, at this time of year, was starting to serve on Philmont as a commissary truck driver. And that was sort of my dream job from the first time I went to Philmont in the year 2000. I thought, I want to come back and do this sometime and work all summer as a seasonal staff. And I wanted to work at something where I would get to go in the backcountry almost every day, get to do something that interacted with the campers that came to Philmont, and something that was just fun to do. And so I had the opportunity to serve all summer of 2008 as a commissary truck driver, and it was probably the best job I've ever had in my life.
Wow, that's great. So, in 2011, I went to the World Scout Jamboree in Sweden. And I've heard you went, so I was wondering where you staffed.
I was on the headquarters staff, contingent headquarters staff. In the past, I had been the regional chairman in 2007, and then I had been a unit leader in Thailand and Chile and in Holland before that. So Sweden was the 5th in my World Jamborees. And the great thing I got to do at that was WP, Wayne Perry, who you interviewed a couple months ago or so on the Venturing Connection, and Jack First, our visionary behind the summit. The three of us, we called ourselves the Peloton, like in a bike race. And so every day we would do a complete hike all around the Sweden subcamp areas and visit every single United States troop and crew that was camped around there. And we were sort of the USA Peloton, and so we would visit the units and say, how you doing? And everybody was having such a great time. So that was a lot of fun.
That's great. So my final question is kind of a personal one, and I was wondering, will your granddaughter be joining Venturing?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. In fact, from the time she's been about 3 years old, on my birthday, when she was 3, she said, Papa, we're going to celebrate your birthday with a camp out. So we had my birthday camp out in her backyard when she was 3 years old, and we've had that every year since. And she keeps asking me, Papa, when do I get to go to Boy Scout camp? So she's looking forward to it, and absolutely, there's no question. And like you, she's a beautiful redhead, and I'm surrounded by redheads. My wife is a redhead, my son's a redhead, his wife is a redhead, and now I've got a beautiful redheaded granddaughter whose name is Rebecca, but I call her Louie Blue Eyes when she'll let me, because she has these just beautiful blue eyes. But absolutely, she's going to be a venturer, and if she's half the venturer that you are, I will be very proud of her.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being on the Venturing Connection and answering a few of my questions. So I have a sign out, which is life is an adventure, so go venturing, and I was wondering if you will help me sign out.
Of course.
Okay. Life is an adventure.
So go venturing.